There was a certain man from Ramathaim, a Zuphite from the hill country of Ephraim, whose name was Elkanah, son of Jeroham, the son of Elihu, the son of Tohu, the son of Zuph, an Ephraimite. He had two wives. One was called Hannah, and the other Peninnah. Peninnah had children, but Hannah had none. We met here in the office, this young couple. They had struggled with the issue of infertility. They had taken the tests. They didn't know what was wrong because nothing seemed to be scientifically problematical. And so they had come seeking prayer. And we prayed, and we talked. And a number of months later, I was so glad to hear that God had answered our prayer, that she had conceived and eventually would give birth to a beautiful little girl. It's like that for Hannah. Hannah was barren, to use the Old Testament language. And in their culture and their time, it was more than just the tragedy of not having a child. It was considered a curse. Hannah was loved by Elkanah, but Hannah would go to the temple of God, and she would pray, Lord Almighty, if you'll only look on your servant's misery and remember me and not forget your servant, but give her a son, I will give him to the Lord for all the days of his life, and no razor will ever be used on his head. Hannah said, if you'll answer my prayer, O God, I will dedicate my son to your service. This dedication would take the form of the Nazaritic vow, which was the abstinence from all alcohol and strong drink, as well as never using a razor on the beard or on the hair. This son of hers was going to be set apart, holy for God. And God answered her prayer. She had a son and named him Samuel. And the name Samuel means because I asked the Lord for him. Samuel will become a great prophet of God. The history of Israel will turn on the ministry of Samuel. From a time when there were judges in the land until God will accede to the wishes of God's people and allow them to have a king. And Samuel will be God's instrument of anointing first King Saul and then David. But that's later in the story. The important thing is that God answers prayer, even bad prayers. Bargaining with God is not a great idea, but the wonderful thing about faith is if you read the Bible, and I hope you're following along with us, you will find again and again and again how the people of God in confidence go to God with even bad prayers. And God still loves, still leads, holds accountable to be sure, but answers prayer. Happy reading.